What's up, guys? Welcome back to Actually Sports. You know how we do it. Yesterday, Chelsea were able to uh, play against Manchester City in the Etihad Stadium, and guess what? It ended 1-0. No one is happy with these results. No Chelsea fan is happy with these results. But how we do it, we rate our players and see how we are currently. We see where we are. We see where we see how the players performed yesterday, and that's exactly what we are doing right now. If you just joined me, remember to subscribe, be part of this community, and hey, we are going to rate our players based on yesterday performance. Chelsea didn't perform very well yesterday, and we lost to City by 1-0. Every Chelsea fan is not happy about this. Hey, I'm not happy about this. Then the board is not happy about it because we wanted to fight for the title. Chelsea wanted to fight for the title, but as it stands now, the hopes of the title is gone. But hey, we are looking forward to see what we can do to fight back, because I know City will not be able to end the league title by 13 points difference. No, the points will be reduced. Who knows? Premier League is Premier League. It can switch around, and City own struggle will also come, and they will be struggling in the league. So let's still hope. Chelsea is still on the second of the league table. Manchester City is on top with 13 points difference. If you just join me, remember to subscribe, be part of the show, and hey, we'll be able to do it together. Now, Liverpool is on the third of the league table with match at hand, and Chelsea is second. For sure, we are looking forward to bounce back very quickly, because as a good team, when you lose, your bounce back always speaks how highly you are. And if you just join me, remember, let your comments come in, because we are about to rate Chelsea players based on the performance of yesterday. And you know how we do it. Your opinion counts, your thoughts count, and you can let your heart out what you feel about that game, even though it's already gone. But we need to rate our players to see whether we can get improvement, or it's still going to be the same. And hey, today's one is going to be very, 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 very no mercy for any player. We see it how it is. No hard feelings for any player. We see how their performance is, and we go by it. Yesterday, Chelsea went 3 back formation with two up front. With one up front, Lukaku, and Pulisic and Ziyech was playing behind him. And we could see the midfield, Ngolu Kante and Kovacic, and the right wing and left wing was Marcus Alonso, and the skipper himself as Piliqueta. The third back was Malansa, Rudiger, and Thiago Silva. These players did their best, but hey, it wasn't enough to win the match for us. So we look at how they perform, and how everything went yesterday for Chelsea. And if you just join me, remember to be part of this conversation. Remember to be part of this rating, and your comments are highly welcome. Your opinions are heard, your suggestions are heard on this channel. And if you are new, subscribe and be part of this amazing community. We're just building up, and we are building up. And earlier today, we see that Arsenal game, the London Derby has been postponed. So Arsenal Tottenham game might not be coming on again. And that was going to be the toughest game today. And even though Liverpool will be playing against Brentford, Brentford give them tough time last in Brentford Community Stadium. They ended 3-3. And this time round is going to play Anfield. And we saw how Liverpool is struggling without Mane and Mohamed Salah. So our focus on this video is just to go ahead and rate Chelsea player, how they perform, because most of the players perform terrible. Some we can see progresses in them, some we can see that they can still improve. So join me If you are new, subscribe to the channel, be part of this community, and let's grow the community together. Now, without much I say, we're just going to go straight into the rating of the players and be part of this. Put your suggestions, let your suggestions come, let your opinions come, because your opinion and suggestions are always important to us here. Is it something we're doing that you don't like? Is it something we're doing that you appreciate most? Let us know. And today we are going to start by Kepa. But remember, this rating is going to be a serious rating because Chelsea lost 1-0 against Manchester City in the Etihad Stadium. Kevin De Bruyne doing it again for Chelsea, and that was his 5th goals in his last 5 Premier League goals against Chelsea. His 5th match against Chelsea. His 5 Premier League match against Chelsea, and he has been able to score 5 goals. So this is a player who is always wants to worry Chelsea because people term it as paying back. People term it as paying back to Chelsea because we allow him to go. And that time we had no choice because the number of players that were there, we couldn't bench any of them and be using Kelvin De Bruyne. And hey, he has grown into such a powerful midfielder and a distributor and a creator that he is very difficult to stop. And this is what he always does to us. But hey, Chelsea is not yet out of the title race. 13 points is something that is feasible, but we can't be much sure about that. But all I know is City cannot be able to finish the league with that far margin. It's been a long time we saw a club taking the title with a lot of margin points. So let's hope and see what's going to happen next. So we start with Kepa Arrizabalaga because Kepa was on post for Chelsea. Kepa was on post for Chelsea. And hey, what do you think about Kepa on post yesterday? So I have with me Puna is it Puna Sherchan. Chelsea was pathetic, to be frank. You are absolutely nearly. They were pathetic in that game, and hey, they didn't perform what all of us were expecting. We didn't get it out there. And remember, if you're new, be part of this community, and hey, be part of us, and let's grow this community together. We are Agenda 1K subscribers, so be part of it. And hey, what do you think about Kepa? Kepa performance against City. Kepa performance against City. Yesterday, we all saw Kepa doing very well. We all saw him doing very well yesterday. He made a number of saves, which was very good for Chelsea. A number of good stops he made, particularly the 1-1 on Grealish one. Kepa did very well. Kepa did very well on that one. And hey, he for me, he's been really good. He's been able to step up in the absence of Edward Mendy, and for him to make that stops was actually very good coming from him. Now, he might have got nearer to De Bruyne's strike if we were being hypercritical. He did very well, but then a step to his right proof as it actually cost us a lot, because if he was to stand stable on the post and didn't move to the right, could have saved that ball. Kevin De Bruyne score in the free kick. It could have been different game altogether if Kepa had saved that ball. So for me, today's rating is 6 out of 10 for Kepa. Okay, I'll make it 6.5 because the save he made, the one-on-one save, actually proved that he's still someone that we can rely on. So I'll give him 6.5 out of 10. What do you think about Kepa rating? Guys, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. And remember to join me and subscribe, turn on notification bell, and be part of this community. Be part of this community. City game, Liverpool game. I'm still contemplating whether we can react to it live on Facebook or not. I'm still contemplating whether we can get that time to do it. But hey, right now we are rating Chelsea player, and Kepa, I gave him 6.5 out of 10 because this what another football side said. Good stop from Grealish late in the first half after Kovacic error, and might have got nearer to De Bruyne's strike if he didn't step to the right before. So it cost that moving to the right a little bit cost Chelsea much in the game. And hey, he's someone who has been found out doing that in most free kicks, and Chelsea has been paying dearly for that. If he will learn from his mistakes, probably he could improve much for Chelsea. Believe me, he could have improved much for Chelsea. And this is a goalkeeper that Chelsea nearly disposed of because of issues against Lampard and all that. And during Lampard era, he wasn't actually performing very well for Chelsea. So Lampard opted to go for Edward Mendy with the guidance of the man himself, Peter Cech. Peter Cech scouted Mendy for Chelsea that was with Frank Lampard, and they brought him with a low-cost goalkeeper, and he has done marvelously well. And since he has come in, Kepa has been brilliant because he can be a first goalkeeper for other teams, but his character and composure since the arrival and his acceptance to be the second goalkeeper is someone. This the main reason why I cherish Kepa so much in this game is so much. And hey, for Mendy to go for African Cup of Nations and his step up, two clean sheet in his previous goals post for Chelsea, both the League Cup away and home game against Tottenham, he was able to get clean sheet out of it. But this one is something that he could have got clean sheet out if he had saved that ball. Maybe probably Chelsea could have go ahead to get a point out in City. I'm actually disappointed for that move. And hey, there's little we can do here. There's little we can do here. But he made an important save on that game, and three 6.5 out of 10 for Kepa for me. What do you think Kepa rating? What do you think, guys? Your opinions are counted here. Is it right for him, or I'm little harsh on him? Because this one in rating, no hard feelings for the performer, because we still know the player can still improve. We still know maybe the player could have done better, and we still know that maybe he cannot improve. He will still remain like that. But Kepa, I think he's still young goalkeeper. His age with the performance he's putting out, he can still improve much better, and he can still learn more. So I'm giving him, with that mistake, the step to the other side, and then De Bruyne's strike went in. If he was stable, he could have saved that ball. So for that matter, I rate him 6.5 out of 10. Guys, let me know in the comment section and be part of this amazing community. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Now, who should we go next? Who should we go next? I think it's better, since we just moved from goalkeeper, it's better we go to the skipper himself, Aspilicueta, who was playing the right wing for Chelsea. Aspilicueta was playing the right wing for Chelsea. So let's get into him and see what he has done match for Chelsea on yesterday 1-0 1-0 defeat against Manchester City. And hey, a lot of Chelsea fans are still coming back from the shock. But I think the players should be able to gather themselves well, because we still have match on Tuesday against Brighton. Chelsea still have match on Tuesday against Brighton, and it's also a Premier League game. So they just need to gather themselves quickly and move into that game without hard feelings. For sure, you all know that this Premier League game, we don't need to we don't have to lose another game. We can't afford to lose another game in the Premier League. Now every game is going to be what hard for us, and it's going to be very difficult for us. But we, at the end of the day, we need to win it if we still want to be in the second place on the league table, because Liverpool still have game at hand, and hey, they are playing Brentford, our counterpart, today around 2 p.m., 2 p.m. UK time. And hey, if we have the time, probably we could be able to telecast, react it to you live on YouTube. But hey, we don't know yet. But what do you think about Aspilicueta yesterday's game? Let me know your thoughts about Aspilicueta on yesterday game, because Aspilicueta is a guy who I think did well yesterday, but hey, it wasn't enough for us to win a game. The wing back side, it's been something that I said is not going to happen. It's not his favorite position. So sometimes you can't blame him much for that. You can't blame him much for that. But for him to step up on that area, had a lot on his plate with the rampaging Cancelo and Foden at him with regularly, coming to him with regularity. He looked exhausted on that game in the second half. And Grealish had some good moments down his side after the break. So that's what I'm saying. Like Grealish, Foden, and what's his name again? Grealish, Foden, and Sterling all tried to use his side yesterday, but hey, because Aspilicueta is no longer a young player. His age and also these young boys were trying to utilize that area, and probably most of Grealish particularly had a lot of good moment down that side, and we it was actually very, very, very tiredness for Aspilicueta, and he didn't do that much over there like he used to do. And even offensively, he didn't move offensively much for Chelsea. And yesterday, all the players were defending, including our strikers, our up front strikers. So all of them yesterday was a poor performance. And for Aspilicueta that side to allow Grealish to have some good moment over there, I think it's something I should be giving him 6.2 out of 10. What do you think, guys? 6.2 out of 10. I think he did brilliantly well, but hey, it wasn't enough to stop Grealish, because Grealish had a lot of balls cross in and also dribbling him at that side, and it was always coming. And for me, I always said it, Chelsea is going to miss Reece James a lot, because Reece James was doing very well. And when you look at our first leg against Liverpool in Anfield, Reece James was able to do some stops, and also against City in Stamford Bridge, Reece James was doing very well. So at least Ali Nasser said Lukaku out from Chelsea. We'll still get to Lukaku, Ali. We'll still get to Lukaku term, and we'll rate him. Hey, what you are saying, probably he didn't do that much yesterday for all of us, but we'll still get to him. Ali, we'll still get to him. Now we are talking about the skipper himself, Aspilicueta. What was his rating yesterday? What do you think about him yesterday for allowing Grealish and Co to because Grealish and Foden and also Sterling, all of them had good moments at that side, our right wing back, because our right wing back, because he wasn't going too much. It's wing back. He needed to move forward much, and also defensively. He needed to do much, but he couldn't do that much over there. And I think he didn't do much. So my rating for Aspilicueta is 6.2 out of 10. He didn't do that much. He didn't do that much for me. What do you think, guys? What do you think about Aspilicueta rating? Let me know in the comment section, and be part of this amazing community, because your opinions always count here. Your opinions always count here, and your thoughts. Let me know what you think about Aspilicueta. And hey, let's move on to the next player. Who do you think we should be moving on to? We all know that we are still in the defensive area of Chelsea. We already talked about Kepa. Kepa rating, I give him 6.5 because of the Grealish ball he stopped yesterday. And also I give him 6.5 because his rating is not much because of the step up he made during the free kick. If he had stayed stable, he could have saved that free kick, and Chelsea could have get a point out of the game. And now let's move to Rudiger. Tony Rudiger, man of the moment, the guy who I think has been doing marvelously well recently since comes or since Tuchel came in. He's been one of our best defenders in the Premier League and in the league as a whole, and all what we are doing. So Rudiger is a guy that I think he has stepped up his game since the arrival of Thomas Tuchel, because we nearly saw Rudiger, we nearly loaned him out to Tottenham, but he personally refused to go to Tottenham because Tottenham, you can't leave Chelsea and go to Tottenham. You can't even stand the fans of Chelsea. So he refused to go. And Tuchel arrival, we know that Rudiger is a beast of a defender, and I won't be surprised if he named one of the best defenders in the world, because he has proved it successful since last season. Thomas Tuchel coming in and up to date. And yesterday game, to be frank, all of them we didn't get the best, and in them all of them didn't actually do quite better yesterday, to my understanding. And for you, you also observe the game and you know what really transpired in the game. Playing on the right, playing on the right was his first time. Yeah, it was his first time since this season. Or because we usually see him playing on the left side of the pitch, and he has been brilliant over there. So him playing on the right of the back three instead of the usual left-sided spot. Plenty of hustle as usual, because we know him. Rudiger is a hustler. He hustle a lot. He hustle a lot. And yesterday he still hustled for Chelsea. Stood up well in the face of consistent City pressure, because he was the defender who stood tall for the pressure of Manchester City. Manchester City. So for me, he did quite very well for Chelsea. And hey, what do you think? What rating should we give him? Because Rudiger always excel very well. And yesterday, for the whole general team not to perform and even create enough chances to score goals, scoring goals opportunity, particularly the first half. How can Chelsea go into a game first half without shot, or not to talk of a shot on target? And so I just seen that all the players didn't perform very well offensively. And Rudiger, for them, stood standing tall, and the pressure City give Chelsea, and they were able to absorb the pressure, and City were able to get about 17 shots on target, and only 17 shots and only 5 on target, and only to score one goal in the game. The defenders really did very well, and they did very well. So I rate Rudiger 7.2 out of 10. 7.2 out of 10. Guys, what do you think about Rudiger rating? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. The power is yours. Let me know your heart feelings about yesterday's game against Chelsea against Manchester City. This is something we usually do every time when the game is finished, and the following day we try to rate our players for you. And remember, Chelsea will be playing on Tuesday again, away to Brighton, and it's going to be a Premier League game, and it will be very difficult for the players. So I guess by now they will forget about yesterday game and start preparing for Tuesday against Brighton, because it's also not going to be an easy task. We need to win that game, and I hope our away performance has been better than our home performance this season. And even when we were at all these injuries, COVID, we were still performing. Away was still better than home, because we see ourselves drawing in couple of home games than away games. So Rudiger, I rate him 7.2 out of 10. What do you think he's rating? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Who do you think we should go next to? We are still in defenders, and so I think it's better we go to the man himself, Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva. We are moving to Thiago Silva. Guys, what do you think? Thiago Silva, what do you think about Thiago Silva? Let me know what you think about Thiago Silva performance yesterday, because this guy is a guy that every team wants to have in their team. Every club wants to have in their squad, because he's a guy that he's a winner. Let me just say he's aging 37 years old and he still look like he's 28. He still looks like he's 28. And then the performance is always he's always proving himself. Chelsea thought maybe he could have just come 1 year and then his ball is finished. But we could see him still doing very, very, very well for the club. And so that's the reason why Chelsea keep on signing him. Just to keep on giving him 1 year, and I guess he'll be able to sign his contract again. And hey, his dedication to the club, his dedication to work, his dedication to football is absolutely been amazing for me. And the way he control the defense, his control of the defense is also amazing. And his passes, like this guy can do anything. He can do anything in the pitch. And sometimes I think he's usually underrated, and for him to come to Premier League and be at this age and be giving us this kind of performance is absolutely amazing. Looked relatively comfortable despite City's dominance as they shifted the ball out to the wings more often than not. So Thiago Silva, he's always comfortable, and his ball distribution in the back is been absolute. And sometimes you can even see him controlling the midfield. So I usually call him midfield general. What do you think about Thiago Silva in yesterday's game, the defeat against Manchester City? 1 goal to nil. Hey, the season has not been bad for Chelsea after all, because we are still on third of the league table. Chelsea is still on second of the league table. Sorry, guys, second of the league table. And you could see him, his control and dedication to Chelsea has been absolutely amazing. And he's loved by all, both Thomas Tuchel, the fans, the board, and management. Everyone loves him because he always, whenever he gets into the pitch, he gives his 100%. And for yesterday games, you could see City wasn't penetrating through the middle. They were just trying their wings because they know that our wing backs are not there, and the players playing over there, especially the skipper himself, as Aspilicueta, wing back is not his favorite position. But we see him trying his best for Chelsea, and that was where City was just concentrated on the ball. And Thiago Silva, the way his experience, he will always show you the comfortability, and he will always show you the class that he knows the game before most of the players. He was in the game before most of City players were even born. So he knows what he was doing. And for that matter, I give him 7.6 out of 10, because generally I consider the general performance of the team yesterday, and it wasn't looking so good for Chelsea. So I give him 7.8 out of 10. What do you think about his performance yesterday, guys? Let me know what you think about his performance. And we are still on the defense. We are still on the defense. And I think he absolutely nailed it yesterday. He absolutely shows that his comfortability in the defense is always amazing. It's always comfortable. He's always good over there. And hey, I love him for that. And believe me, every Chelsea fan loves this guy because dedication is always what's the fans always looking for. We the fans, what are we looking for? We are always looking for a good player, a player who always saves your club, a player who always does that's very good for the club. And Thiago Silva is not an exception of that nature. And I think he's someone who can still excel very well in the team, because his contract, they will renew his contract for next year again, to be renewed next year again. And if you just join us, remember to be part of the community, subscribe and join us for more information and for more, if you're a football fan, because we see ourselves giving you other football live and live reaction, and you could also bear with us. Sometimes we need to check how our opponents are doing, we need to check how others are doing, and sometimes I have guests coming on, and their analysis is absolutely amazing always. And remember, African Cup is also on your way to today. A lot of countries are playing. It's like 4 matches today, and hey, you can afford to miss it. So our next guy, who should we go to, since we are still on defense? We haven't gone for Malang Sarr. Malangsa, guys, guys, what do you think about Malangsa? Malangsa is surprising us in Chelsea. He's surprising us in Chelsea. For him to also get first 11 yesterday will shows that he has been absolutely improving. He has been improving for Chelsea. And hey, this guy is a fighter. He's a fighter. And I always say Thomas Tuchel is not only a coach, he's not only a tactical magician, he also improves players. If you're a player and you are under him, you feel happy. You feel happy and you feel comfortable, and he improves your football. And that's a typical example of Malangsa. For the past 3 games, we saw Malangsa doing very well for the club. Even when we short defenders, he did, if he's given the opportunity, he does very well. And since arriving in Chelsea, there are 3 games he played, and I've been saying it, and I'm going to say it again. 3 games that he involved and performed marvelously well for me. That was first one was the against Brentford in the Brentford Community Stadium Premier League. These guys stood tall, and Chelsea were able to win 1-0 over there. And you know how it's difficult playing in the Brentford Community Stadium, and it was London Derby in addition. And that was his first London Derby played in Brentford Sports Stadium, and he saw the intensity. He saw how Premier League intensity was when it comes to London Derby. And the second one is the one in the EFL Cup in Stamford Bridge against Tottenham. These guys stood in his ground, just was prevented prevented Hurricane for doing what he knows best. And hey, the second leg was something he also did very well in playing the left wing back for Chelsea. And hey, he's absolutely improving. And if he keeps that, I don't see him leaving Chelsea again. I don't see him loaning out again. But hey, Chelsea is still linked with Kunde. Chelsea is still linked with so many players, but I don't see Chelsea signing players this January. You know how it is. It's always difficult for Chelsea to sign players on January. It's like I don't know, but I don't see this guy moving out of Chelsea if he's going to excel. And yesterday games was not an exception. Was not an exception. He did quite very well on the game. What do you think? What do you think his rating is? Let me know what you think about his rating. Let's do it, and let's do it quick for the boy himself. Malansa absolutely did well sometime yesterday because yesterday was it his first time pairing with Thiago Silva and Rudiger? No, I don't think so. But superbly his time tackle on Sterling in the first half to snuff out a chances for City. Sometimes look a tad jappy and a bit over gear two. Some good interceptions in the second half as well. He did, like, the interceptions he did was actually amazing in the first half. Especially Sterling couldn't get his usual game he wanted. And remember, Sterling was looking for 50th goal in Etihad Stadium, and he could have been the second player to reach 50th goal aside from Sergio Aguero, but he didn't do it against Chelsea because Malansa stood very strong against him, and a lot of interception that he made on that game, and a good outing once against for the Frenchman. He did absolutely well for Chelsea yesterday, but the entire team performance was absolutely poor. And for that matter, I rate him 7 out of 10. Guys, what do you think? 7 out of 10. I rate him 7 out of 10 because he stood very well yesterday for Chelsea, but generally team performance. I told you, for the three back to absorb that pressure from City is just absolutely amazing. It's just absolutely amazing because City was all pressure, 17 shot, only five on target, and they were only to get 1 goal in Etihad Stadium. Generally, the team didn't perform, but the defenders did absolutely amazing. Just that offensively and midfield was not all that good for us, even though we had our best midfielder over there, Kante and Kovacic over in the midfield, but it wasn't looking great for Chelsea in that match, for City to hold possession from the beginning till the end, and Chelsea couldn't do anything. Only 4 shots on the game, one on target. That was absolutely poor performance from Chelsea. Very, very, very poor performance. And what do you think, guys? Malangsar rating, I rate him 7 out of 10 because he was part of the back three and they were able to absorb the pressure Chelsea have. Guys, who should we move next to? Who should we move next to, guys? Who do you think we should move next to? I'm not seeing your comments. Let me hear the comments coming, guys. Your comments come in. Pour all your heart out because it was absolutely not good for Chelsea in the Etihad Stadium, and it's something Chelsea fans are not happy with. And some people are telling now Tuchel is doing blaming game and all that. Hey, Chelsea is not yet at our best. I thought the winning mentality was there after winning home and away against Tottenham and also drawing against Liverpool. Was something that we could have get a point out in the Etihad Sports Stadium, but it didn't happen. So it didn't happen. What should we do? It didn't happen, guys, because we're expecting it to happen. It didn't happen. So we move on because Tuesday game is also a crucial game. Traveling to Brighton is something that is always going to be very difficult for Chelsea. But at the end of the day, I expect them to win that match. I expect them to win the match tomorrow, on Tuesday against Brighton, because we can drop points. We can't keep on dropping points. If we still need to stay top or second of the league table, we just need to take every game serious, and it's going to be absolutely buzzing for us, believe it or not. Guys, Malansar rating is 7 out of 10. Let me see your comments. Let me see your suggestions. Let me hear what you think about this rating, because your opinions and suggestions are always heard here. I will show them in the screen. Your comments will be shown over there and your name will be mentioned. Like Ali Nasser said, Lukaku out from Chelsea. And hey, we'll still get to Lukaku. Lukaku says, so we just start from goalkeeper. We are finishing with defense because the next defender will be Marcus Alonso, who I think was the bad was the worst performance I ever see him play. And we've been complaining about him, but he's always yesterday was the worst performance I ever see him play. So let's move to Alonso. Alonso. Let's move to Alonso. Guys, let me know who you think was performed worst in the game yesterday. Let me know who you think performed worst in the game. And Marcus Alonso we are moving next to him. This guy have experience in the Premier League. He's been He's been in Chelsea for a couple of years now, for a couple of seasons now. Yet we still have problems in the left wing back if Ben Chilwell is not there. So the beginning of the season, he was absolutely brilliant for Chelsea, scoring goals and all that. And hey, his season hasn't gone yet. We haven't finished the season yet. We just start the second part of the season, and he's already looking like he's not doing ever he's not doing well for Chelsea. But for him to put out that performance yesterday, it was just a shambolic performance from him. I've never seen it from him. I've never seen such performance from my guy here. And what do you think his rating are? We are putting our option alive. Kennedy has been called back, guys. You all know that Kennedy has been called back, and Kennedy has been called back, and we are still waiting to see what he can also do, because we're looking. Chelsea was linked to Lucas Dean. They are not serious. They didn't go for offer. Chelsea didn't go and make an offer for Lucas Dean, and he has gone to Aston Villa. Yesterday, we saw him performing for Aston Villa, good 90 minutes for Aston Villa, and also Coutinho first game, he was able to net a goal for Aston Villa, and Aston Villa drew 2-2 against Manchester United yesterday. And for Aston Villa, business against Chelsea have ended this season, except maybe FA Cups. They are out of the FA Cup. So this season, maybe we will not play against Aston Villa again, because we've been able to win against them home and away. and we've got the 6 points out of them. And City also give it to us this season, home and away, and that was their fifth back-to-back win against Chelsea this season. And hey, City, we are not up there yet. And Alonso, let's get back to Alonso. Alonso, for me, hey, Alonso for me, no, 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 no. Yesterday was absolutely shambolic performance from Alonso, booked in the 7th minute for bringing down Sterling. And that yellow card, I wasn't happy with the yellow card, the way referee just give him yellow card in the early minutes of the game. Maybe that could have affected him because he couldn't. Maybe he will said maybe if he goes in deep into the game, probably he could get another yellow card. So he tried to stay safe, but the referee didn't do well at all by giving him the early yellow card. You need to manage the game. It was his first foul. You could have won him from there, but just go ahead to give him the yellow card wasn't a good idea. But the yellow card, I don't know whether it was that one affected him. The wide man had him on the ropes thereafter. So Sterling was just using him thereafter and managed to last to the 80th minute before Mount replaced him. Struggle all the game. He was just struggling. He struggled a lot. Alonso didn't, for sure, as I said, he didn't perform very well from to my liking. And yesterday was the poorest performance I ever see Alonso performing. In general, the whole team didn't perform, but Alonso's side was just leaking for Chelsea. And hey, what are we going to do? Kennedy came and Tuchel, how he do it. He could not just move Kennedy into the game just like that. He needs Kennedy to adapt before he can use him. For Alonso performance, I rate him 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, because he struggled a lot in the game and he couldn't stay. We usually see him like just offensively and score goals for Chelsea, but yesterday we didn't see all that. Defensively, he wasn't okay. Offensively, he wasn't okay, because we know Alonso, if he's not performing defensively, but the offensive way there, he will be able to do it for Chelsea. But yesterday, all was absent. So my rating for Alonso is 5 out of 10. Now let's move to the midfield. The midfield general himself. The midfield general himself. The midfield general himself. You all know who I'm talking about. When I say midfield general in Chelsea team, everyone knows we are referring to no other person than the man himself. Guys, guess who am I talking about? The man himself. No other person but the man himself. Ngolu of Kante. Let's move to Ngolu Kante. Ngolo Kante did very well yesterday. He did very well yesterday, even though, hey, it was just coming that it was the indications was just coming that City was going to win the game. And that was what happened yesterday. It was just coming, and we could not stop it. We could not stop it. It has been coming for a long, long, long period. But hey, we're able to manage to concede only one goal. And this man here in midfield yesterday was absolutely amazing, but didn't put out all his best for Chelsea. We all know he's coming back from injury and COVID, from COVID and injury from COVID. So we can't get 100%. We can't get 100% out of him. We can't always get 100% out of him. And there are instances he also need backup. So back in the starting 11 after his COVID enforced absent, sloppy on the ball in the first half, though his teammates weren't much better in possession. His usual energetic self, but wasn't shrek off by De Bruyne for the winner. Serious. Yesterday, as I said, he has been absolutely amazing for Chelsea, but we can't guarantee 100% from the midfield general himself. And for that matter, I'm not going to talk much about him, and I'll rate him 6.5 out of 10. Yesterday wasn't great performance for him. We saw him moving a little bit, forward for moving forward for Chelsea and try to create a lot of chances for Chelsea, but it wasn't all working. And hey, is 6.5 out of 10 for me. And some people might rate him 7. I won't be surprised if others rate him 7. But for me, 6.5. And he can still do better for Chelsea, and he can still do it for Chelsea, I guess. Hey, the other midfielder, Kovacic, Mateo Kovacic, is the one we need to move on to. What do you think, guys, about Mateo Kovacic? What do you think about Mateo Kovacic? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about Mateo Kovacic. And remember, African Cup of Nations, some games will be coming your way today. So just grab your television set, or maybe probably you could join us. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to do it. So Mateo Kovacic is the next midfielder that we are moving on to. And this guy, as I said, he's a complete midfielder. He just needs to add shooting to his game and scoring to his game, and he will be complete midfielder. This guy can take on players, one or two players, and move to score. He has not been scored, to create spaces for Chelsea to score more goals, but he just need that ability to shoot from distance and score more goals for Chelsea. And for me yesterday, he did absolutely well yesterday. He did marvelously well, just that it wasn't enough to get Chelsea the chances we deserve to win the game. Chelsea was sloppy offensively and midfield, because pressure from City was just absolutely very, very. He made a number of tackles for Chelsea and also got yellow card during the game. He started the game like a player very much at ease with his game at the moment. Like that's how he make the game easy for himself, and he play effortlessness. So winning the balls back in the midfield before hacking down Bernardo Silva, and that was where he get the yellow card from. And he seemed to then lose his way a bit before regarding composure and after the break. And for me, as I said, he's just a player, a complete midfielder. He just needs to add that little bit of shooting into his game, and we could see the devil out of him, and he could be unstoppable in the Premier League and also in Champions League and other leagues at whole. And he just need that shooting. Lampard said it in before that Mateo Kovacic just need to learn how to shoot, and we've not been seeing him. He's not that kind of player shooting. And Chelsea midfield, that's the kind of player we've been lacking. That's why a lot of fans just want to see the England international, the captain of West Ham United. A lot of Chelsea fans wants to see this guy over there. But the question mark is, when he comes to Chelsea, will he be able to bench those players who are already there? And his price tag, people think he doesn't worth that price tag. I don't know, but hey, the guy is absolutely good. He's good for West Ham. Now, Mateo Kovacic, I rate him 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. If you think otherwise, let me know. Put your suggestions in the comment section. Just smash it in the comment section and let's get into it for sure. So who should we go next? Up midfield, we had Hakim Ziyech. So Hakim Ziyech also yesterday, I think he's the person we should be moving to. Hakim Ziyech. He should have been in the African Cup of Nations, but he didn't call up by Morocco. And I think he didn't call. He was able to save Chelsea a number of few times, especially against Tottenham in the EFL Cup in Stamford Bridge. So he's doing perfectly well. But yesterday game, as I said, hey, he didn't his game was not okay for me yesterday. We didn't see the devil part of Hakim Ziyech yesterday, and generally the whole team didn't perform. To be frank, the whole team didn't perform for me yesterday. Guys, what do you think about Hakim Ziyech? What's his rating? What do you think he brought to the site? And yes, yesterday, as I said, he was very awful passes when trying to find Lukaku, drew a range from Tuchel on the touchline. And oh, no. Yesterday, as I said, Hakim Ziyech also was awful performance yesterday for me. Didn't do much. Didn't do much. And if Tuchel thought both of them could have done very well for Chelsea. Believe me, because these two guys, Ziyech and Pulisic, if they were in the game, Chelsea could have do much better because Tuchel put them over there to mount pressure on the midfield and defense of Manchester City, but they could not do it. They could not do it, and that led to Chelsea pressure, all pressure on Chelsea on the game. And for Hakim Ziyech yesterday was awful performance again. I don't know whether he's very good in the back four, driven very well for Chelsea, or it's just that I don't know. I don't know, guys. Let me just know because the fall back against Tottenham in Stamford Bridge, he was amazing for Chelsea, and he did all the he could for Chelsea to win that game 2-0. But this time, three back when he's playing over there, I don't see much of him, and he was very awful yesterday. And believe me, it's not that I don't like Hakim Ziyech is one of my favorite players, and he's a big game player. He's a big game player, but yesterday was just an awful performance from him. And for that matter, 5 out of 10. I rate him 5 out of 10. Guys, what do you think? What do you think? Am I being harsh to him, or that is the perfect rating I know? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment, and always know that your opinions are counted here. We count your opinion here, and your opinion are always heard here. Don't get me wrong. Hakim Ziyech was awful in the game. Hakim Ziyech was awful in the game, and he had issues with his national coach. He could have been in the African Cup of Nations to currently performing for Morocco. But hey, without him, Morocco are doing very well in AFCON. They are doing very well without their skipper, and they can qualify to the next stage of the competition because they are leading their group. Morocco is leading the group there, a group that comprises of Morocco, Gabon, Mauritius, and Ghana. So, and they are leading the group there. They are going to qualify to the next stage of the competition without their skipper. Hey, who should we move next to? Guys, what do you think? Yesterday, all the Chelsea players performed awfully. All of them performed woefully, and we didn't see much in them. So next is who? Guys, guess who we are going to? Guys, guess who we are going to next? Guess who we are moving to next? After Hakim Ziyech, who are we moving to next? No other person. No other person. No other person. Guys, no other person. No other person. Who are we moving next to? No other person than Captain America. Captain America. Christian Pulisic. Don't get me wrong. He's a brilliant player. He's a fantastic player. And comparing yesterday's game is something that I cannot talk about. It's something that I think I should I should just hold on to it because he too wasn't. I don't know. Yesterday he played his favorite position because the other games we've been saying, oh, Pulisic did not play his favorite position. He has not been playing his favorite position because we see him in the right side, in the right wing. We see him in the right wing back, and we also see him in the number 10 position, and also in defense, in midfield areas where he needs to fall deep into the defense to help fall deep into the midfield to help midfielders. And also the left wing is always his favorite position, and he scored goals in that area. But yesterday game, no, as I said, he and Hakim Ziyech performed woeful in that game. Believe me, they didn't do well in that game, and very quiet in the opening 45 minutes, and had a fair bit of tracking back to do some home or to do as well with Cancelo, to deal with Cancelo again. But hey, it wasn't always working for Pulisic on that game yesterday against City. Couldn't get into the game at all. he couldn't get into the game at all, guys. And no surprise, no surprise, he was dragged off with Ziyech in the game. Serious. Because they were not doing as we Tuchel expected or as the fans expected. And you all know how we do it. If you are not performing, you need to come out, then someone will actually take over. And for my rating for Pulisic, no hard feeling. This game, he didn't pull his gear for me, and I think he can still do better for Chelsea. And I understand early this season he also got some injuries, and he's still struggling with those injuries. He's still struggling with them, and we can't get 100% out of him. And when our players were injured, COVID and all that, he also stepped up to play some certain areas for Chelsea. And to yesterday game, I rate him 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. He can still improve for sure. He can still improve. But what is the guarantee that he will be able to improve for Chelsea? Is something is guaranteed. For me, I'm sure Pulisic can still improve for Chelsea. Let's just give him the benefit of doubt and he will do well for Chelsea. But 5 out of 10 for me. Hey, guys, we are getting to the fun part. We are getting to the fun part, and try to smash your suggestions in the comment section. The fun part is here. We are moving to the striker himself. Guys, we are moving to the striker himself. The one that we think he did not do well. And when I just started it, one of my this said, Lukaku didn't perform very well. Lukaku didn't do well. Lukaku didn't. So for me, I think, hey, this guy, I don't know. I don't know whether he can still improve for Chelsea. Guys, the fun part is here. Let me hear your comments. Ali Nasri, let me know your comments. Ali Nasri. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it hard feelings. Let's keep it like the benefit of doubt. Do you still think Lukaku can still perform for Chelsea? Let me know in the comment section, because he was once again striking for Chelsea yesterday, and we see ourselves. I don't know, guys. I can't describe it, because when you remember yesterday performance generally, you just feel like Chelsea as a club doesn't deserve it, because a lot of money spent for Lukaku and the goals is not coming, and the Chelsea performance is totally different when he's on the pitch. Chelsea performance is totally different when he's on the pitch. He was supposed to hold up play. He wasn't getting the balls to. But hey, for a striker like Lukaku in the first few minutes to get that chance and pass the ball, hey, it was absolutely poor from him. Poor performance. Look at that's why now Ali Nasri said Lukaku out from Chelsea, because they are not feeling it. They are not seeing the reason why we bought Lukaku. We only bought Lukaku to score goals for Chelsea. And we are not seeing it, guys. We are not seeing it. And yesterday was a typical example of it. Kai Havertz, we know if Kai Havertz is there, his movement is absolutely brilliant. We know Timo can run, can take on defenders for and create chances for some people to score, even though he himself has not been scoring. Lukaku is, to be frank, is awful. Yesterday game was another shambolic performance. I don't even know what to say about Lukaku on that game, guys. I don't even know which one should I say about Lukaku on that game. Made poor decisions to pass to Ziyech, as I said, rather than shooting early in the game. A striker like Lukaku, you get this kind of chance. Instead of you to score, you are passing. Like what is your role over there? What is your role over there? Maybe if he had shoot, he could have net the goal and the game could have been different game altogether. Did shoot early in the second half, but has but was too close to Ederson. It was too close to Ederson for it to score, to be frank. I don't know. Guys, what do you think? This is absolutely, I don't know. Lukaku didn't perform for Chelsea. And since arriving, how many games played? Just imagine how many games played, and only 5 Premier League goals. 5 Premier League goals, and he was about to cause us a havoc in the team again. Oh, guys, sorry. It's tiredness, serious. It's tiredness, and I don't see how Lukaku should improve in Chelsea. I don't see how he should be able to gel into Tuchel formation. I don't know, because is it what we, simple score goals for us, and it's a problem. And I understand the supply is not come, because the players too don't know how to supply him, because even when he's out of position, he's calling for balls. That is always what Lukaku is often doing for the Blues. And hey, it's not something that I think it should be. Well, this is just his first season for his return to the Premier League and Chelsea. His return to Chelsea. Let's hope and see whether he can improve or not. Because this time we need trophies. We need aside from trophies, we need a lot of stuff, guys, to go ahead and win games for Chelsea, because Champions League is coming. FA Cup is there. We are in the League Cup finals, because the League Cup finals is coming. We are still waiting on Arsenal and Liverpool to see who will join us in the finals, and we are also in Club World Cup games to play, and there are a lot of games to play. And hey, Lukaku, I don't know whether he can do it for Chelsea. If Remember, if you're new and you just join us, be part of this community, subscribe, and hey, we'll look into it. The next player we should be going to is the substitutes. The substitutes, guys. Who do you think did well for Chelsea? Substitutes. So for me, next person we'll go to is the substitutes. Hudson-Odoi, I thought he could have started this game. I thought he could have nailed it for Chelsea. Sorry, guys. It's tiredness, though. It's not something else. I thought Hudson-Odoi could have do it for Chelsea. I thought he could have started the game for Chelsea, but Tuchel did it right that we need some kind of pressure. So he benched Hudson-Odoi, and Hudson-Odoi, although it is sometimes tough, if he was there, maybe probably we couldn't have done much in the game. But hey, he wasted a good free kick with a dreadful delivering, then booted the rebounds out of play. Summit up Chelsea day. Summit up Chelsea day. What a day it was. And for him, I'll rate him 5. Believe me, I'll rate him 5. Guys, we are getting to the end of this conversation, and we have finished rating most of the players. And hey, the substitutes, I can only rate Hudson-Odoi, because when he came in, he was the one like who actually pulled, and the whole team didn't actually perform very well to my liking. What do you think, guys? What do you think these games are? What do you think of Chelsea moving forward? Do you think we can still fight for the title? I don't believe so. But hey, anything can happen in the anything can happen. Believe me, anything can happen in the Premier League for sure. Anything can happen. Don't take it for granted. 13 points is City cannot just extend the lead like this in the Premier League. Anything can still happen. And Chelsea, for me, can still go ahead to our worst place in the league should be second place. Chelsea West in the league should be second place, and that is where we are looking forward to, and that is where we are looking to see how it will go for Chelsea. And hey, 2 or more trophies won't be bad for Chelsea this season. 2 or more trophies won't be bad for us. So we are still counting and counting down. And hey, if you're with me, thank you very much for joining me. It has been wonderful having you on this show. And remember, if you are new, do what be part of the community by subscribing, turn on your notification bell. Anytime we upload new video, you will be the first person to view or to be part of it. And also, shout out to Ali Nasser. Ali Nasser said Lukaku out, guys. What do you think about that? And also, Pena Shechan. I don't know if I pronounce your name wrongly. Let me know. I think I didn't pronounce it wrongly. Is it Puna or Pena? Sherkan. Sherkan. So he said Chelsea was pathetic. For sure, Chelsea was pathetic in that game. Chelsea was pathetic in the game against Manchester City, and it's something that we shouldn't take advantage. Now, every game is going to be like finals for us because we need to win a lot of games in order to catch up with Manchester City. Thank you very much, guys, for being part of this show. And it was wonderful hosting you. And hey, be part of this community. And your voice and your opinion always heard here in Achilles Sports. So just subscribe. We are on 100K. We are on 1K agenda. So subscribe and be part of this amazing community. So in 30 minutes time, Liverpool game will be coming on. Liverpool game will be coming on. Is this something we should be looking forward to show to the fans? What do you think, guys? Is this something that we should be able to uh, see how Liverpool are doing? Because I think if they win this game, they will they will pass Chelsea. They will go to the second place, and Chelsea will be. Oh yes, I think so. If they win this game in the league table, because they still have game at hand. They still have game at hand, and they still have game at hand. And if they win that game, probably they will be in the second place. They'll be in the second place. And it's something that I don't think. Yeah, so today's game, if they win today's game, they will pass Chelsea by a point. But if they are unable to win and they lose, hey, we will still be on the second place. If they draw, we will still be in the same points, but they will still come to the second place of the league table. Chelsea is going back to the third place. Guys, it is not Chelsea position. It's not Chelsea position. So thank you very much for being part of the show. And I'm going to leave you here, and bye for now. And remember to subscribe.